let's get into the sorcery, shall we? And again, these aren't in any particular order, but I love this one. Another card that goes really good with Dismissing the Dream, Distorting Wake. This is where you start seeing all the cards that I have in here that makes me not have to run counter spells. I hate counter spells. They're ridiculous. That and Infect. Ridiculous. Whoever made Infect needs their ass whooped. But costs 3 blue and X, so this is obviously a pump-up sorcery. Return X, target non-land permanents to their owner's hand. Non-land permanents, so that's their mana rocks, that's their planeswalkers. Even if they have their commander out with an equipment on it, say they have Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot Boots or something, you can return the equipment to their hand. And then you can proceed to do something to their commander or whoever they had the equipment on. And like I said, goes amazing with Dismissing the Dream, because as soon as you target their creatures with this, any creatures you target of theirs get fucking sacrificed. Love it, love it, love it. Always have. And here we go with this type of bullshit. Let's see, there it is. Beacons of Tomorrows. Card that a lot of people may or may not know, but costs 6 and 2 blue. Target player takes your next turn after this one, and then you shuffle it back into your library. And I most certainly have had games where I cast this, possibly copied it, and then, I shuffle, I give it to my opponent to cut, they cut it, and I damn sure have drawn this again. It's happened a couple times. And then that's when they're like, oh, you did something. You cut it. I shuffled it right in front of you. I don't know what to tell you, because I'm going to cast it again. And if I can copy it again, that Swarm Intelligence or something being on board, I'm damn sure going to do it. Because, you keep copying extra turn spells, they do stack up, and I love that. Speaking of, our next sorcery is Part the Watervale. 4 and 2 blue sorcery. Take an extra turn after this one, and you have to exile it afterwards, so hopefully you can copy it. So you can at least get 2 out of it before you never see it again. But it also has Awaken 6. You can pay 6 and 3 blue. And if you cast this spell for that cost, you can also put 6 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. And it becomes, the 6/6 elemental creature token. Well, it comes as 0/0, but you're putting 6/1/1 counters on it. Elemental creature token. With haste, it's still a land. That last part is very important. But I'll get into why in another video, because I just will. I have another commander that I actually just this past weekend got into a slight debate with. But anyway, I'm trailing off of this particular video. I'll save that for that video. So, yep, this card pretty much speaks for itself. Next sorcery I have on here is... I love this one too. This actually helped me win the game. Win a game the other day because somebody had a demonic tutor in their graveyard and it helped me go get my combo. Spell Twine, 5 and a blue sorcery. Exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard and target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. Copy those cards, cast the copies, if able, without paying their mana cost, and then you have to exile Spell Twine. Great one if you have some good ones in yours. Even if you have a minor one in yours, but somebody has a major one in theirs, it's worth it. Like I said, just won a game the other day by using this because somebody had a demonic tutor in their graveyard, and damn sure I copied it, and I damn sure went in there and got my combo piece and ended up winning the game. And needless to say, that felt great. Yeah, see, the dogs feel me. They were excited for me. If you guys can hear that or not, the dogs are barking. Next, walk the eons, whatever. Y'all get it. 4 and 2 blue sorcery has buyback, so as you cast this, you can sacrifice the realms and you'll return it to your hand as it resolved, which I have done before. Depending on obviously that's situational. Depends on the mana rocks and the mana that you have on the board. If you sacrifice the 3 islands, can you still maintain? Is the question. Late game, yeah, this is awesome. I'll do that shit like 2 or 3 times. But target player takes an extra turn after this one. And this one does not get exiled. This one goes to your graveyard. Gotta have those. And again, as we go through more cards in this deck, you'll see why that is amazing. Just as amazing as this card. Time Warp. That's not the version I have, but that looks very slick. 3 and 2 blue sorcery. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Flat out, don't exile it. It goes to your graveyard. And like I said, as you saw, I have like stuff like Pneumatic Wall and Archaeomancer that can get stuff like that back from me. But I also have more things that can get that back from me, which is actually one of the next. It was actually the next card on my stack here. Oop, that's not called the. It's called 2. Call to Mind. 2 and a blue sorcery. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah. Pretty cut and dry there. No real need for explanation. Next, I have this one that also doesn't really need explanation. Pull from the deep, 2 and 2 blue sorcery. Return up to, so that means it can be 0 if you don't have one of the other kind, but you still need to use it in a pinch. Return up to one target instant card, and up to one target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and you have to exile Pull from the deep. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes you only use one side of it. I've done it before just to get back an extra turn card before. And didn't have any instants in my graveyard, but very useful nonetheless. Next card. I love this card, and I'll definitely love it in big games. Blatant Thievery, 4 and 3 blue sorcery. For each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I love this card in general, but I really love it for the fact that there have been times where I've held on to this card, knowing I had enough mana to pay it, to play it, but I held off until everybody played their commanders and just took their commanders. Needless to say, that is amazing. A little salty for them, but I don't really know what to tell them on that aspect. Next card we have here is, I need to type in more. There we go. Temporal Mastery, 5 and 2 blue sorcery. Target player takes an extra turn after this one, then you have to exile it, but it has Miracle, which I have also gotten that to work before. You may cast this card for its Miracle cost, which is 1 of the blue. When you draw it, if it's the first card you drew this turn. And I have gotten that off before. I guess that's the way they were making up for Time Walk or something like that. But hey, awesome card. Let's see what's next. There you are. Karn's Temporal Sundering, 4 and 2 blue legendary sorcery. You may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature or a planeswalker. And my commander stays on the board sometimes a very long time because a lot of people don't argue with drawing an extra card. But I'm not doing it to benefit you, even though sometimes it does. Sometimes that does backfire. I'm not going to say it never has, but I'd say 90% or higher, it definitely benefits me more. Target player takes an extra turn after this, and you get to return up to one target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then you have to exile it. Another cut and dry one. Like I said, people rarely ever get rid of my commander. Rarely ever. Like, who doesn't like drawing extra cards? I do. And next, pretty basic card, but pretty cut and dry. 1 and 2 blue, Relearn. I'm sorry, I said that in the wrong order. Relearn. 1 and 2 blue sorcery. Return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Cut and dry. Yeah, pretty cut and dry what that does. That doesn't really need any explanation. And the next second to last sorcery in this deck. I need to type more apparently. Booyah. Temporal Trespass. 8 and 3 blue. That sounds intimidating to pay 11 mana for this, but it has Delve, so for every card you exile out of your graveyard, you take a colorless away from the mana cost, which comes in very handy because there are certain things in this deck that I can't get back once they're gone. So why not exile them so that I can cast this? Take an extra turn after this one, and then you have to exile it. Booyah. And the thing about it is, obviously, if you sacrifice enough things, you can. I have brought this down to only costing 3 blue before. And so that saves up the rest of your mana that you can possibly copy it. Maybe a couple times. And last but not least, on the sorcery side, oh, I spelled that wrong. That was my fault. I was wondering why it wasn't popping up. There you go. Enter the Infinite. 8 and 4 blue. Again, that sounds like an intimidating mana cost, but it's doable in Commander. Sorcery, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library. Then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. Listen, if you play Into the Infinite and it doesn't get countered, more than likely you're going to win. I'm sure you have something up your sleeve, possibly with Laboratory Maniac. You possibly Into the Infinite and Thassa's Oracle is just a game winner. And I love it. I have messed up on this before. You gotta watch out playing a card like this if you have Thought Reflection on the board. You'll just immediately insta-kill yourself. Alright, on to the instants that I have.